Peace and blessings, power people. You are listening to Reverend and High Priestess Thema Aziz Serwa. Always excited to connect with you online and just share what's on my heart. I literally like to have conversations with myself out loud on the internet because I feel like the things I'm living and experiencing may help others with what they're living and experiencing. So let's get into it. For the majority of my life, I was an overgiver. I used to perform for the love, affection, and support of people. I had this template in my mind, probably that I inherited from um, my mother, that my value in people's lives is determined by what I can do for them. And even till this day, I have to put in a lot of focus to really function in my intimate relationships, whether personal or professional, outside of that old template. It takes a lot of energy for me to affirm every day that you were born valuable, that your value is God ordained. It's bigger than what you can do to make other people satisfied with how they get to resource you. So imagine becoming this mogul full-time entrepreneur, having positive impact all throughout the world, but also having these experiences where my passion is setting me up for interactions with people where they get disappointed, frustrated. I remember years ago, a woman literally she's a former friend. We haven't been friends for years. But she was so upset with me because I had just had my daughter. We were supposed to collaborate on something that we were going to offer to the marketplace. And she really didn't have any money to bring to the table. And she also didn't really have the marketing. So I had sat back and I started assessing, what is in this for me? And the overgivers listening to me, I know that you can relate because sometimes you have delayed processing, and it's not until you get in the thick of something that you begin to say, dang it, what is in it for me? What do I need? Not just what can someone provide. What do I actually need in the exchange? And for me, I really had to change the programming that subconsciously said it's not okay for me to need what I need. And I processed that in therapy, actually. When I was in therapy, my therapist would constantly affirm, Thema, it is okay for you to be surrounded by people who can give you what you need and understand what you need. And so I just want to offer this to you. Don't self-betray just for the love and admiration of the people, especially those of you listening who are leaders. It's okay to have empowering boundaries that say, if you're going to be on the inside of my life, there are certain things that I need to qualify you for that position. What do those things look like in my world, to put it in practical application? For one, you must be honest and integral. I am sick of the facade of sisterhood. I've been in several different communities throughout the years of being in this work. I can't stand the cattiness, the sisterhood politics. I can't stand women who are in leadership, curating communities, but talking about the women behind their back, behind the scenes. I don't want to be in that energy. I don't want to be associated. I don't want to be affiliated. I don't want to be positioned with none of it. I need women in my inner circle who move in a similar value system and integrity that I move in. That creates a safe space for me. That keeps me from being in dynamics where I have to ask the question and wonder, who are they venting to and talking to about me behind my back? Because this is how they show up. They do that. They gossip, they talk. Yeah, I don't like having people close to me where I have to be left with a lot of question marks. That's one of my non negotiables. I need people who don't get intimidated by the intensity of my lifestyle. Because I am who I am and I do what I do, in any given 24 hours, there's a lot happening in my world. And if I begin to get signals that somebody can't even listen and hold space or just even understand the nature of me and how vast I am and how much I have emotion, then I don't feel free to flow in my authentic expression of what's truly happening in my world and in my life. So there's certain traits and characteristics, overgivers, recovering overgivers, that you need to be honest with yourself about. Even in my family dynamics, if my family members cannot see me correctly, that's another one of my non negotiables. If you can't see me correctly and you insist on projecting your interpretation of me as the truth versus doing the necessary work to have a deeper understanding and clarity about what you're looking at, yeah, I'm not interested. Because what I am aware of is that there are a lot of other people on the planet that will see me correctly. I don't have to subtly fight to be understood with. I'm magnetic. I can summon the same frequency that I am on. These are the things I offer to you as insights into how you can come out of this habit of performing for people's love, approval, and acceptance. People can only give you the level of love, approval, and acceptance that they've learned to give themselves. And so there's nothing more challenging than being around people who haven't learned to accept themselves in ways that you have. You get tempted subconsciously to lower yourself, shrink yourself, pretend to be less excited about who you've become and what you're getting done in your life because you're around mediocre, complacent, stuck, stagnant energy. That's another one of my non-negotiables. You must be in flow. I don't do well in intimate relationships with people who are always getting stuck, stagnant, say they're going to do something and then don't deliver, don't show up, that's triggering for me actually. And I've allowed myself to acknowledge that yes, I'm triggered by your stagnant energy because I'm getting stuff done over here and I don't want to be around that vibration. It's just a different channel that I'm on. I'm on a different station. And it's too resonant of where I used to be, not where I'm headed. I have permission to properly support and surround myself. I need you to write that mantra down. I need you to encode it in your mindset. I need you to let it take root in your spirit. You don't owe people toleration. You don't owe people accommodation when it interferes with your joy, your peace, your advancement, You have permission if you needed it. If you needed this reminder and you needed to hear it out loud, I'm giving it to you. You have permission to pivot, abandon, shift, change your mind, change directions, stop investing, go where you feel like you can thrive. How many years have you spent second guessing yourself, not following your instincts, not honoring your intuition because you want to be included, because you want to be liked, because you want to be seen a certain way, because you want to make sure you don't lose any referrals or this other? Set yourself free and recover fully from your overgiving, performing nature. Become more radical with your self acceptance. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, that requires you to become unapologetic and fierce about your boundaries and no longer feeding the energy and dynamics and relationships that cause you to self betray. And for most recovering overgivers, self betrayal looks like shrinking, playing small, letting people place you where they think your gifts belong, instead of telling them how to access your gifts that are available for whatever they got going on. See, insecurities become costly and can become poison when you really, really, really don't own the truth of how magnificent you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And for the recovering overgivers, you are the resource in the room. You tend to be the biggest energy, and everybody in the room knows it. And I'll say it like Reverend Ike says it, everything in the earth knows your God but you. Rise up, sis. Stand up, sit on your throne, and stop feeling like you got to leave your seat and lower yourself to be relatable. There are people who sit high like you. You'll find them if you prioritize finding them. If you stay complacent and comfortable with interacting with the lower energies and not honoring the truths that you hold as your values, what's important to you, then eventually things blow up and combust. And you don't have to always rely on crisis to pivot. You can transform yourself and your life and your experiences without chaos. Chaos is not always needed. Sometimes it is, but not always. Imagine what it will feel like for you to shift peacefully with wisdom, clarity, and to gently move into better dynamics where people actually know what you need and how to give it to you. And you know what they need and how to give it to them. And it just makes sense. I hope this gave you some food for thought and allows you to feel well nourished and allows you to make some better decisions about the kind of relationships you will accept and allow. And if you feel like in a lot of your dynamics you're tolerating instead of enjoying, then it's probably time to reconsider why you are still investing there. I love you. If you need support doing this reflection work, this healing work, I'm always available. Right now, I'm running a 3-session bundle promotion because I want to assist people in closing out the year at a very high vibration. And you get to work with me one-on-one and get some support. I also have tons of lectures and in our online university at thewomb.saunauniversity.com. We have courses that are on demand 24/7, all kinds of resources that you get to use to be able to keep yourself clear and centered and grounded, right? So if you are not on my email list, go to thewombsauna.com. Join my email list. If you're not following, have your notifications turned on for our um, social media accounts, go do that. We're on everywhere from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook. We're all over the World Wide Web. And lastly, if you need some face to face interaction, you are always welcome to come into the healing room. It is a sacred meet and greet experience, and the doors are open every third Saturday of the month. For now, that's a very intuitive offering. So I open the doors to the healing room when I feel compelled to open the doors to the healing room. But right now the doors are open, and so you can go to thewombsauna.com/events and subscribe to our event calendar to stay current on all of our offerings and what we are making available to our followers to make sure you can heal everything. I always enjoy speaking with you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.